everybody. I am Scotty J. Welcome back to Rock Titan Live. We have got a very cool guest with us right now. I'll tell you right now. This guy, you can smell the rock and roll emanating from his body, all right, from over a mile away. But one of the really cool things about him, all of us, just as human beings, we all have idols, people that we really look up to and revere and stuff like that. And it's a really cool experience when you get to meet those idols that you've looked up to. But this guest I have, not only, has he, looked up to certain rock stars in the world, he's had the opportunity to work with them at large. And in some instances, fill in and sing the songs of people that made him the musician that he is today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ricky Warwick with us. And
wow.
Yes, Ricky, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Scotty. Thanks for having me on the show.
It is an honor to have you here. And
thank you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know you at this point singing for Thin Lizzy, and then with Black Star Riders, spinning off of that with Scott Gorham and doing your thing there, making new music with some of those Thin Lizzy guys. But you've got your brand new album. It's been a few years since your last one because I was catching up on all those music videos. But you got When Life Was Hard and Fast coming out February 19th, yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Bring it on.
You've got some kind of cool collaborations on that album, if I am not correct, huh? You got some big names on there.
Yeah, the album was co-produced and co-written with Keith Nelson, who most folks will be aware of through his days in Buckcherry.
Right.
So that was amazing to work with Keith. I've got some great special guests on there. I got Joe Elliott, Def Leppard, obviously, Andy Taylor, Duran Duran Power Station, Dizzy Reed, Guns N' Roses, Luke Morley of the wonderful UK band Thunder, and my daughter, most important of all.
Yes.
My
Pepper, right?
One of my three girls is on there. Yeah.
Pepper,
yeah, yes, sir.
That is so cool. The only other person I can think of really like that, just off the top of my head, is Jeff Tate. From Queensryche.
Right.
He's done his own solo thing. And I know that his daughter's been out on tour with him, and what a chip off the old block. So is that the same for Pepper? Like, is the DNA strong in your family? The force is strong in the Warwick family, yeah?
I hope so. She loves her music. She's a great little mandolin player. She's a great singer. She plays violin. She's always singing, always listening to music. So I guess, that was me when I was her age. So yeah, the similarities are there. I think I was way more choked up and emotional about the whole thing than she was. She was like, "Can we get this done so we can get to Starbucks, Dad?" As most 13-year-olds are. But she went in, she nailed it in one take, and it was a really proud moment for me. I mean, the song's predominantly written about her, so I was like, "I wrote it for you. You're going to sing on it." And she's at that age where, rightly so, she's hating everybody and everything and being rebellious, which I love. And, I hopefully 2 or 3 years down the road, she'll appreciate it for what it is. But she came in, she nailed it. She sounds great on there. And it was a huge moment for me to have her on there,
Yeah, I would imagine so. Proud Papa. That is so cool, man. That's really neat. But I mean, even cooler, kind of like in the opening monologue when, I referred to... We all have certain people that we idolize in our lives, that we look up to, that inspire us. And here you are. I know you have a huge history. I mean, your history with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard goes back years, as it does with Scott Gorham, who obviously you're with the Black Star Riders. But Thin Lizzy. I mean, oh my God. For you, and I hear the influence so strongly in the music that you make now, would it be fair to say that your style of music, your sound as a solo artist, is heavily influenced by Thin Lizzy?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're one of my primary influences, and have been ever since I was a kid, amongst many others. Phil's style of, Phil Lynnett's style of songwriting, his phrasing, the storytelling aspect. I mean, I love lyricists that tell stories, whether that's Phil, whether it's Joe Strummer from The Clash, Springsteen, Dylan, You know, people that tell stories in their songs has always fascinated me. And you know, to me, Phil was the ultimate rock and roller. He had it all in abundance. You know, he looked great. He's a great musician. He's a great singer. He's a great lyricist. He's the whole package. He's the real deal. And you know, as a kid growing up in Ireland, the fact that he was Irish made him even more special to us because he was one of ours.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
No,
you
you've
know,
got a lot of great. You've got a lot of great musicians, specifically singers, that have come out of that neck of the woods.
Yeah, we've done okay. We've done okay for a little place with a small population. What is it they say about Ireland? They said it's the smallest country with the biggest population in the world because we're everywhere.
Oh, you know what,
man? Yeah, we've been lucky, and I think it's always been a land of poets and dreamers and artists, and it's in the culture, it's in the DNA.
Yeah, and you know, I was supposed to experience that firsthand this past summer. I have 18-year-old twins, and they graduated from high school last May.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Actually, my daughter, she's going to school now for music education.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, and her twin brother enlisted in the Air Force, so it's you know, I got them across the finish line. Now life is theirs to screw up as they will. Yeah. But the whole thing was, you know, for kind of our last family hurrah, we actually had it all planned out. We were going to Ireland. We were going to Ireland for the summer. We were going to be out there for 2 weeks. And this is going back like to last March, you know.
Sure.
And then, of course, we all know what happened. You know, the clamps, you know, like no one's going anywhere. And I was just like, oh,
man, you know, I'm sorry that happened to you. I mean, this is the first year that I haven't been home, and I can't remember when. You know, we were planning. We usually go back Christmas every other year. This was the year we were going to go back. I'm usually over there touring or playing or doing TV shows or whatever. You know, and this is the one year that I haven't got back, and yeah, I miss it. It's tough, you know, and it's just tough for everybody right now. I mean, everybody's plans for this year just all went up in smoke, didn't they? Sadly.
Yeah, they did, you know, but life must go on, you know.
Absolutely.
And you being a musician, it's in your blood. It's who you are. It's what you do. I mean, it truly is who you are. And again, everybody, we're here with Ricky Warwick, and he's got When Life Was Hard and Fast coming out February 19th. It's been a few years since your last album. Now, I'm assuming that you've had some time to kind of sit on this. Maybe not. I don't know. You're with Nuclear Blast right now, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, okay. I've been with Nuclear Blast for the last 10 years. Right
on. So did you, given the landscape of things right now, did you kind of want to hold off on the release of this? And they are like, nah, man, nah. We got to get this out there. Or was it you that's like, you know what? I know we can't physically support this the way I'd like to right now, but we're going to put it out there anyway.
Well, I mean, no, honestly, nothing's changed. You know, my primary thing is Black Star Riders, and you know, we've been full on with them. We put a Black Star Riders record out last September, Another State of Grace, and we hit the ground. We went to Europe for 7 weeks, and we planned to tour everywhere this year with promote the Black Star Riders album. I actually recorded the solo album April of last year.
Okay.
And the album was always going to come out January, February. It is now February of 2021. That was always the plan. So nothing's changed. And 2021 I'd always planned to promote my solo record and tour it. And that's still the plan. My dates start end of April, you know, sort of onwards throughout the year. I'm hoping with the way things are moving along, the vaccines coming along, that hopefully that might still be doable. You know, I'm trying to be positive. If I have to move them, I have to move them. That's just the way that it is. But I'm still planning to go ahead and promote and tour the record next year. And then Black Star Riders will pick up again in 2022.
Okay. All right. Right on. Yeah, I was curious how that overlap works. Because I know a lot of musicians like yourself where you just, you know, you eat, sleep, and breathe music, and it is who you are and what you do.
Well, you know,
you never have just one project, you know, or one band.
And these days you can't, you know. I mean, everybody in Black Star Riders is involved in other things, and we try and create a space that we can do everything. You know, I mean, Christian Martusci's obviously, you know, in Stone Sour, he's just been really busy with Corey Taylor's just put out a solo record that Christian co-wrote with him, and he's in Corey's band, so he's busy with that. Robbie Crane's got a bunch of stuff going on. Scott takes it easy. He does Lizzy shows when they come around. Chatter drummers and a couple of other. So it's there's other stuff going on, and we like to make sure there's room for everybody to do that. And then we sort of go, hey, okay, this year it's going to be all about Black Star Riders. Let's all come back to the fold. Let's concentrate on that. And so far it's worked out okay.
Okay. Now, as far as Black Star Riders go, that's all your new music that you create with Scott Gorham and company. Some of the guys from Thin Lizzy. Are you still doing anything as Thin Lizzy? Because I think I saw that Troy Saunders from Mastodon, he'd been touring with you. I love him, man. Oh my God, they're great.
Troy's great, man. We did 4 shows. We headlined 4 European festivals last summer.
Okay.
One of them we did the Black Rose album in its entirety, which was amazing.
Right.
And the band was a great band. We Troy on bass, Damon Johnson on guitar, Scott Gorham on guitar, me singing, and Scott Travis from Priest on drums. Scott Thin Lizzy is Scott Gorham's thing, and
right.
He's always going to want to play those songs, and rightly as he should. And I'm sure there'll be more Thin Lizzy shows down the road. In fact, there will be. And I sort of, that's Scott's thing, and I'm just honored to sing those songs. And when I get a call from Scott going, hey, we're doing 6 Lizzy shows next, blah blah blah, I'm like, I'm there. I'm there. Just tell me when and where, Scotty, and I'm there. But all the planning and all that, that's not really my place to say. It's more Scott's thing, and I tend to leave that totally up to him.
No, that's cool, and I love that. I dig that. I mean, that's very respectful. So, I mean, but back to when life was hard and fast. So you're going to get out there. You're ultimately going to tour with this music at some point in time. And there were guest appearances by Dizzy Reed, by Joe Elliott, who you go way back with. Is there any chance that these guys might actually join you on the tour trail when such a time comes up? Now, obviously, they've got other big things going on, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard. But has there been talk that these guys might actually be with you?
You never know. I don't think they'd maybe come out for the whole run, but there's always a chance if we're in one of the hometowns that they're in that they'll get up and play on a couple of songs. Absolutely, I would love that. I mean, Joe has done that in the past. He's gone on stage with Black Star Riders. He's gone on stage when we've been over at Thin Lizzy. So Joe just loves to get up and jam. So yeah, absolutely. I can't see them doing a whole tour, but maybe a one-off show. Yeah, why not? I would love that.
That's cool. Yeah, well, I hope that happens. Man, I love Joe. I actually had a chance to see Def Leppard and Journey. They were on tour together out in Philadelphia, which is in my backyard. And, oh, man, timeless. Absolutely timeless.
The songs are so strong and so great. And as you know, the production is always phenomenal on their show. And it's just a great rock and roll show. And they're a great rock and roll band. And they're timeless.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, they are. So you've got Fighting Hard out right now. That's the one single that I've heard from. Now, I've heard your whole album already. But as far as what the broader audience, not media people like me, but so everyone else has heard Fighting Hard. Is there anything else that you are planning on releasing between now and February when the full album comes out?
Yep, the next single is about December 4th. Next single and video drops December 4th.
Oh,
and that is a song. There's a track called "You Don't Love Me."
Okay.
And I think there's going to be 2 further singles after that before the actual album drops on February 19th.
Right on. Now, is there an official music videos that's going to accommodate that, or is it just like lyrical?
Yeah, I've done official ones for the "You Don't Love Me," which is the next track. Video was shot out in the Joshua Tree, which is where we shot the first video for Fighting Heart. We shot the second one out there as well, and then I've done a video for, I think the third track's going to be the title track of the album, When Life is Hard and Fast. I'm in the process of putting the video together for that right now.
That's very cool. Now, Ricky, I'm gonna commit a violation here. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna ask you something.
Do it.
That I never do. But, I always go back and kind of see other things that you've done, other media appearances that you've had, stories that you've told, because I try not to be redundant. I never want to overlap. I don't want to be boring. I want to get some new juicy material out of you guys. But, man, you told this one story, and I'm not sure how widespread it went, but the dude is just so legendary. I mean, he's one of the icons. Lemmy Kilmister. All right, Motorhead. And I heard this story out of you that you were telling when you were hanging out and I guess partaking of spirits a bit, imbibing a little. Like, and clearly he's no longer with us. I mean, that's one of the souls that we've lost in rock and roll
Sure.
and heavy metal that stings me. But it must sting you on a much more personal level just because this is someone that you got to spend some personal time with. What was the relationship like with Lemmy? Just so everyone knows.
I mean, Lemmy is one of the most, I think, misunderstood people out there because people see him in Motorhead and they see him as Lemmy and this dyed-in-the-wool, dirty rock and roller, which he is, but he was so much more than that. He was a really beautiful soul and a very intelligent, well-educated human being. Very knowledgeable on a huge range of subjects. Now, Motorhead took my old band, The Almighty, on tour with them when they put the 1916 album out, and they couldn't have treated us any better if they tried. I mean, we wanted for nothing on that tour. We were just obviously, in ecstasy that we were opening for Motorhead because we were all such Motorhead fans. And the guys and I got to know Lemmy I'd met him a few times prior to the tour. That story, that obviously is up there on the internet. If people want to check it out. It's true. Every word of it is true.
It's so funny, man. I mean, just the way you told it was amazing.
But I've been in some great parties with Lemmy and great situations with him. He always made me laugh. And then there was a spell there just where I didn't see him for quite a few years. Our paths just didn't cross. And I got the opportunity. He had a rockabilly band called the Headcats. I don't know if you know that, with Slim Jim Phantom.
Okay.
And a guy called Danny. What I come his last name? Sorry, Danny. But they were like rockabilly because that's Lemmy's first true love is rockabilly. That's his love.
Right on.
And they were three-piece, and they were great. And they played a couple of shows at the House of Blues when the House of Blues was still here on Sunset, and the one down in Anaheim. And I got the chance to open for them, just solo acoustic. And I hadn't seen Lem in about, I don't know. I mean, this is 2009, so I hadn't seen him in maybe 5-6 years.
Okay.
And I rolled up, and I'm still a little bit nervous because I'm a fan. Even though I know the guy and I've got his phone number in my phone and,
right.
and what have you, I'm still like, it's Lemmy, And he just said, Ricky, come in the dressing room, and it just really picked up where we left off.
That's cool.
And I did something that I never do, and I'm so glad that I did it. And I don't know why I did it at the time because it isn't me. I had the acoustic guitar I was using. I just said, Lem, I said, just do me a favor. Will you just sign this for me and date it? And he laughed and he made a joke. He said, what do you want my autograph for? And I said, yeah, I just do. Just do it,
Right.
We're joking about it. And of course he signed it. And I'm so glad that I still have that. Obviously, still have that guitar with his signature on it and the date that he signed it. And
that's awesome, man.
He was just a righteous guy. Didn't suffer fools,
right,
at all.
Well, he was very private. I mean, even when everything was going on, no one knew. Very
private and very. He just didn't buy into any of the bullshit. He just was who he was, and I think he was very comfortable being who he was. And like I said, the guy was amazing. And anytime I was in his company, he was just great to be around.
Yeah, no. And of course, the particular story that I was referencing was right before you kicked off with a nice acoustic version of Ace of Spades.
Yeah, man.
Which you crushed. That was freaking awesome.
Thank you.
So, and speaking of covers, I guess with When Life Was Hard and Fast, you've also got another part of that, Stairwell Troubadour, which is a secondary album of all covers. Is that correct? Am I messing that up?
That's correct, Scotty. Yeah, I mean, that was done. My album prior to When Life that came out in 2015, the solo record, When Patsy Climbs Crazy. I funded part of that before I licensed it to Nuclear Blast through the Kickstarter pledge campaign, and I would do like a little update, once every couple of weeks, and I just play an acoustic cover from the stairwell in my house, and this started to go down really well with everybody out there. And my man just said, "Look, you should just record these songs acoustically, and we'll put them together on an album. We'll offer it through the Kickstarter campaign as a little bonus limited edition thing. And we did that, and it was great. So, I finished this record. I handed it into the label, and labels being labels. You got any bonus tracks? Got any demos? I'm like, oh God, here we go. My manager goes, actually, you do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, remember that acoustic album you did? That's never really been, properly released.
Okay.
He said, let's put that out as a bonus disc. And I was like, okay, have at it. Let's go. So, I can't really take the credit for it. It was all sort of the management idea, but yeah, it's on there. And there's some pretty eclectic covers on there.
Well, I was just going to say, and you can take the credit, Ricky, because, you are the one performing the songs. But like you said, you've got some real legends on there, mate. Johnny Cash, I thought it was cool, your selection.
Thank you. I did songs by artists that have influenced me. I did a couple of songs that people are going to go, what the hell is he doing? Like the Dead or Alive or the Britney Spears. Just because just because I love those songs. Oops, I Did It Again is a great fucking pop song.
I gotta tell you, man, that got my attention. I'm like, Britney Spears. Oops, I Did It Again? What? Ricky Warwick, really?
I tell you what, man, you haven't lived till you've seen me play that in Nottingham and seen 300 bikers singing along to every word of that, man.
Dude, I have got to hear that.
Yep.
That's different.
Yeah. It's a little bit of fun on there, and it's a little bit something different, and You had some Leonard Skinner on there, I think. Don't know if I did a Skinner track. No, I did. I think I did Johnny Cash. I did I Fought the Law, which is the old Sonny Curtis track, obviously made famous by the Clash. I Don't Want to Grow Up, which is Tom Waits, but I made famous by
Tom Waits. You did Tom Waits?
Well, I did I Don't Want to Grow Up by Tom Waits, which the Ramones covered. I kind of did a mixture of the two, Ramones, Tom Waits kind of vibe on it. I did Wrathchild by Maiden.
Oh my God.
It's on there.
That's
so
awesome.
I did the Bottle Rockets, $1,000 Car. Big fan of the Bottle Rockets. Wow. People might not be a great Americana country band. Yeah, it's just stuff that I'd been playing about with, or I'd been doing in my acoustic shows, throwing the odd cover, and obviously. There's songs that a lot of those songs were inspirational to me growing up, like Wrathchild and I Fought the Law and the Johnny Cash, Cocaine Blues.
Yeah, stuff like that. You've got a lot of influences.
Yeah,
that's right, and you hear it all in your music, which is absolutely awesome. So, and I know you got to get going. Even though you're out there on the West Coast, I've got you beat by a few hours. But before I let you go, in terms of how you've been spending this time, because we hope that 2021 is going to be a heck of a lot better than 2020 has been, and that you're going to be able to get out there and support this new music in all its glory. But what does Ricky Warwick do when he's not writing music, man?
That's all I do. I write. I write every day. Yeah, I write. I run. I go for runs. Go for walks. Hang out with my family. That's what's been great about it. This is the longest I've been home since forever. I've got to spend a year at home with my family, and that's been nice. It's been really nice. I haven't missed birthdays or graduations or school plays or. That's cool. I've got to be here for. Not that there's been any school plays because the kids are learning at home, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You know that only too well. But I've just been trying to be positive and be productive. Read all those books I've been planning to read. We've done some stuff around the house. We've fixed the place up and certain stuff that you just put off, and suddenly it's like, okay, now I've got no excuse.
Right on. Yeah.
We can't go anywhere, so let's get on with it. And it hasn't been too bad. We've been healthy, which is the main thing. We're still healthy. We're being careful. We're wearing a mask. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and my wife's able to work from home, and we're getting through it best we can, like everybody else.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, you're talking about doing all your writing, and I said I was going to let you go, but then, of course, I drag you back in because, I'm the radio media host with ADHD on steroids.
It's all good, bro.
But so you're writing, and one of the things I'm always curious about, you musicians, where you do have different bands that you're working with. So, between the Fighting Hearts and Black Star Riders, how do you, as a musician, differentiate, okay, this is what I'm going to do solo, this is what I'm going to do with these guys.
Sure.
That's always kind of interesting to me.
You just instinctively kind of know what's going to work. It's hard to sort of define it or put my finger on it, but with Black Star Riders, there's a certain sound that we have, and there's certain constraints that I know that people expect from the band, and we want to give the people what they want, you know. And so I don't try and stray too far outside of those boundaries. Plus, when I'm writing a Black Star Riders song, I'm very aware that I'm going to be taking it to 4 other guys and value their input in it. Wow. So you know, I may just get a riff and a lyric, and then I'll take it to Christian and then to Scott, and then we'll develop it from there. You know, with the solo stuff, I get to be a complete narcissist, and I can finish the whole thing and don't have to listen to anybody else's opinion if I don't want to. You know, that's the difference. You know, I know I'm going to be playing most of the guitars on it as opposed to Scott. You know, so that's the difference. You know, and if I write a riff, I'll go, that's kind of a Black Star Riders riff. You know, or I just know it's really hard to explain, Scott. You know.
It's all in the mind of the artist.
Although I have had the raised eyebrows from Scott Gorham a couple of times where I've been playing him some of my solo stuff, and the eyebrows gone up, and he goes, "Really? You couldn't have brought that in for us?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Well, okay, so I guess that's really, you know, I should have rephrased my question. So it's like, do you write the music, and then after you've written it, you kind of decide, all right, this is the better spot for it, or do you actually write certain music for Black Star Riders or for Fighting Hearts, and you're like, you know, you're writing a song specifically for that band, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, because I'm writing all the time. There's always a wealth of material at any one time, but I'll delve into it and go, that's definitely a Black Star Riders riff. I can hear Scott and Christian putting some great dual guitar harmony on that riff, or that lyric's definitely, you know, I just kind of look at it and go, that, you know, that's going to fit with that much better than this. And but then sometimes, you know, when I know I'm going to be going in the studio to record a solo record or a Black Star Riders album, I'll you know, have that in mind and be conscious that I'm writing for that album at that time.
Right on. Yeah, no. Well, I will say this. I know that when you finally do get out there and play live, you know, in support of your new album, When Life Was Hard and Fast, February 19th, everybody, Ricky Warwick, make sure you go check that out. Hopefully, when you're playing live, we actually do get to see Dizzy Reed or Joe Elliott, you know, depending on where you're at. That would be pretty awesome. But, man, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge all the ink you've got on you. Is there anywhere left on your body that still requires some ink?
There's a few places left, you know. I don't know. I'm, you know, getting on in years. Although I did say I was going to stop getting in about 5 or 6 years ago, and I've probably got more in the last couple of years than I have in the last 10 years. You know, you just get the urge some days, and I've got, you know, the guys that tattoo me are friends now, so it's always a good chance to go and hang out with them and see them and get some ink done at the same time. Yeah, I'm addicted. What can I say?
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't have any. You know, but I've heard it's very addictive though. Like when you get, it's kind of like having a bag of Ruffles potato chips. You right. Can't have just one.
No.
You know, but have you had any ink that you wanted to cover up?
I have one that I've covered up.
Okay.
2 that I've covered up actually. One was I've covered up my first wife's. I had a tattoo with her name on it, and that's that's my ex-wife. That's covered up. That's something I learned that lesson. Never. It's okay getting your kids or, you know, your mother or your father, because they're with you forever.
Right.
But I think it's a curse if you get a partner's or, you know, a wife or your life partner's name tattooed. I think that's not going there again. I've been with my wife now for 15 years.
Okay.
It's great. And we both have said, nope, ain't doing it, ain't getting the names tattooed. That's the kiss of death right there.
Right.
And then I got into, with the Almighty, we got into a situation, which I'll save the story for another day because it's a long story.
Okay.
With a motorcycle gang, and had to get a little bit of ink covered up on my arm.
Aha.
To keep my arm, basically.
Gotcha. Well, you know, never get ink because you lost a bet. And whenever you decide to go out for a heavy night of drinking with the boys, make sure that there are no tattoo parlors within Uber shot. You know, you want to make sure that is not a possibility.
Never done that. I've always been good. I've never fallen into the I'm drunk, let's get a tattoo category. Thankfully.
Oh man. Well, thankfully you have been amazing at writing new music.
Thank you.
Ricky, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Brother, thank you so much for having me.
It's been awesome. So again, everybody, I'm Scotty J here, Ricky Warwick. If you've enjoyed this podcast on Rock Titan Live, which I know you absolutely have, just give us a little subscribe, show us some love, leave your comments if you thought I was absolutely terrible or if I didn't ask Ricky a question that you wanted and you think you could have done better, because a lot of times you guys chime in and pipe off, all you little keyboard warriors out there. Please let me know. Share your thoughts. I got thick skin. But Ricky, thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, brother.
And yes, I'm Scotty J. You're watching Rock Titan Live. We're out.
A long, long time ago. You don't want